Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this series of videos that I'm calling Am I Insane Enough to Beat the AOE2 campaign scenarios at ×8 speed? For those of you who haven't seen video 1, or as just as a reminder, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I am trying to beat the AOE2 campaign scenarios just like normal on hard mode, but at the ludicrously fast debug speed of 8x, which is 4 times my normal speed of 2x. I am using saves and loads because I'm good, but not that good. But I'm not pausing to keep order or anything like that, makes this a lot more challenging. This campaign, as you may have seen from the title, is Alaric the Goth. How can the Goths sack Rome and defeat the Franks when they can barely be seen? Let's take a look and find out. Alright, so first things first, Alaric campaign. Let's go right into the first scenario, the Battle of the Frigidus. Alright, so first things first, like normal, we're just gonna make our economy a little bit stronger, get some more villagers going because we never start with enough. We're going to send this villager over here because I know from playing the scenario before there's some gold over here. And yep, there it is. So get them going on that gold mine because we're going to need lots of gold for what we're planning. So we're going to get some more villagers going, get some food and some gold, a little bit of wood, but we don't really need a whole lot much, just enough to sustain our farms. And that's going to be, actually, that's it for this entire scenario. Just enough wood to sustain our farms and to build a couple of buildings. So we're going to get some sheep over there, send the sheep up to the mill, and then we've already trained a couple of villagers. We're researching handcart just to get our economy going stronger. Basically, this first part here, we're just going to do that. Going to go grab their sheep before they get away, send them up back to the mill so they don't escape. For this first part here, we're basically just building up our economy so we're strong enough to not get destroyed. Run out of the forge business, send them up to the top there to collect from those aforementioned sheep that we just got. Arbogast is attacking our allies. Yeah, he does that sometimes, but luckily he's not very useful. Got a couple of villagers here. They're idle, and now we build a castle if we can get them in there. There we go. Right in time for Stilicho to tell us to please go in there and do exactly what we're about to start doing. So we've got a castle going up. They're fighting over there, but the Eastern Roman Empire is winning just fine. They're far and away strong enough to handle themselves for like the first 2 hours, as long as we keep up the pressure on Arbogast. Just training up a few more villagers, or rather, letting our villagers collect here. And we've got all of our idle villagers back to work. Train up another villager here, just to make sure we don't run out. Train up the tech to allow us to research Huscarls at barracks, and squires to make them faster. And once we get enough food up, we're going to start training a very large horde of Huscarls. And if you can already see where this is going, yeah, you're right. Huscarls are the answer. And that's going to be a running theme in this campaign, is overwhelming hordes of units. First, Huscarls, and then later on, trebuchets with Huscarls to protect them. But for now, we're just going to train up basically an endless horde of Huscarls. Because, what else are the Goths good for if not for just training up endless hordes of units to burn everything to the ground? It might be a little bit of a stereotype, might be a little cliche, but it works. We go in there with our Huscarls and charge through, and we're going to ignore everything in the base. All we have to do is destroy his town center, and Huscarls are excellent at that. If you station them under the town center, they just eat them up. And now Arbogast is defeated. He's going to resign here any second. And there we go. And now we're going to go over here and break down this gate here. And we're going to get into a fight. And this was a bit of a mistake. I should have gone for the inside gate, but instead I tried to take out the range. I don't know why I did that, because I know from experience that destroying that castle in the center is how we win the scenario. But it's fine. The Goth motto is, if your infantry don't solve the problem, then you haven't made enough of them. So we're going to go and make enough of them. Get our villagers reassigned here and train up as many Huscarls as we can. Just a ridiculous amount of Huscarls here. Western Roman soldiers have been spotted in the south. Yeah, they do that sometimes, but once again, they're not a threat. We don't have to do anything. The Eastern Roman Empire can more than handle them. And luckily, the Western Romans focus entirely on the Eastern Romans. And so with Arbogast out of the way, our base is completely not threatened at all. There is no chance of anyone coming up here to attack us. We are completely safe. Means we can boom up here with Huskarls in peace and just basically build up. And the Romans are going to keep building up and attacking the Eastern Romans. The Stilicho is going to not really do much. And we're just going to keep training more and more Huskarls. The Western Romans are attacking again. That's good. That means it's about time for us to charge in and destroy their castle while most of their army is away. So we target and destroy that, and we're going to go attack their castle, and we're going to do some pretty heavy damage to it. We won't take it out, but that's fine. The thing about Goths is, as long as you damage and destroy buildings, well, you're making progress, because replacing their Huskarls is much, much easier than replacing those buildings. Especially with no villagers around to repair them. So we're going to just train up more Huskarls. A lot more Huskarls. Check up on our villagers. They're all good. Make sure our gold miners, one of our gold miners got stuck here. We're just going to help her out a little bit. Yep. And just like that, we are building up more and more Huskarls. This one's kind of boring, honestly. We're just going to basically train up Huskarls for like 10 minutes and then use them to destroy things. But watching Huskarls destroy stuff, I always love it. It's one of the reasons I love the Goths so much. I love watching Huskarls just like tear everything down. Build up even more of them. And just going to keep going here with more and more and more Huskarls. We're going to pop cap. So if you look at our pop cap in the top, we're going to hit 75 units. 3 of those are going to be petards that we're going to make here just to help do a little extra damage. More Western Roman soldiers. And so we have 3 units left, and we're going to train up some petards. And I didn't notice until it told me that I was pop capped, and I decided that there's no point. We're about to win. So we stop that one, and we're going to go in. The Western Romans are attacking the Eastern Romans, so their base is relatively undefended, comparatively. Now, technically speaking, the way you're supposed to play the scenario is to destroy the outside layer of buildings and then the inside, but there's really no point. We're going to go in, we're going to destroy them, ignore all the units, and we're going to take heavy casualties, but we're going to just manage to destroy the castle and win the scenario. There we go. And just like that, first Alaric scenario on ×8 speed. Not too bad. Pretty fun, actually. They are definitely going to get harder from here, but first, number 2, my absolute favorite of all. Alright, let's jump right into scenario 2, which, as I said, is my absolute favorite, not only of the Alaric scenarios, but probably one of my top 5 favorite of all of the older scenarios pre-DE. So first, we're going to jump in here, gonna get our units up, kind of get them ready. We're researching whatever the tech iron casting, I always forget which one's which, and squires, so we move faster and hit harder. And then we're gonna go out here to some cavalry. We just have to brute force them. We're gonna suffer like 4 casualties, but luckily we can avoid the rest of them if we're careful. At least until we have enough numbers, because they will destroy us if we're not careful. Go in there and just attack the gate. Spoiler alert, most of this one is just brute force, which is kind of the whole Goth identity. We're just gonna rush in, use my Scarls to destroy everything, and then just the triggers save us after that. See, we destroy the first town center, and immediately Sparta surrenders. All their military units disappear. And so we can use all of this food and gold we have to train up a bunch more Huskarls. And we do have a market back here that we can use to get rid of all of our wood, because we don't need that. Who needs archers? There will be literally nothing but infantry in this scenario. In fact, I actually got an achievement that I didn't know existed when I beat this one for beating the scenario while only training infantry units. I don't think it shows up on the replay, but apparently there's an achievement for only training infantry units on the second scenario here. And specifically only Huskarls. That was it. Just Huskarls all the way. Lots and lots of them. So now that we have enough, we're going to go up here. We're going to not knock down the gate. Instead, we're going to use these friendly skirmishers to open the gate for us. And just like that, we're through. And a second one here. Once again, we attack, we lure them forward, backwards, and then they open the gate for us. How nice of them. Barbarians are within our city walls. Yes, we are. And just like that, we have Argos. Now here it gets a little bit iffy, or rather a couple of mistakes that I made that I probably could have gone back and redone, but it didn't stop me from winning, so I didn't care. We have Corinth attacking us here, and I'm trying to go in, and I'm trying to go down there and destroy that onager, but my units got confused on pathing and just wandered around, so I kind of gave up and essentially just destroyed the knights to stop them from slaughtering the population of the city. And so we're going to lose these barracks here eventually. But luckily we have lots more barracks over in Sparta where they never managed to go. So we see we run around here, destroy that ram because those rams are very dangerous. So we're going to go in and just destroy those. You can see we lost the one barracks, and they're firing in the second one. By the time we get everyone defeated, they're going to do some pretty good damage to it here. Because we have to defeat the Eastern Roman Empire, who is trying to make a mess for us, as they always do. And by the time we get enough units up, I tried to save it, but there's no way, so we lost it, but oh well. That's unfortunate, but luckily we have two more perfectly functional barracks. Barracks? Barraces? What's the plural of barracks? Whatever. Down here, so we can just train up as many Huscarls as we want down here in Sparta. Which I guess is fitting because Sparta's kind of legendary for their foot units, their heavy infantry. So I guess Sparta really is kind of the best place to get really good heavy infantry, aren't they? So we're going to just train some more. We lost our market. I have no idea how that happened, but we lost our market at some point. I'm guessing the Roman defenders, or maybe the Eastern Roman Empire, snuck down there and destroyed it. So this wood is just going to be useless to us for the rest of the scenario, but again, it doesn't actually end anything. You can see we sneak through these two gates. They're helpful enough to open them for us. We charge in, destroy that town center of Corinth, and just like that, Purple gets distracted because suddenly they've got a massive enemy force. So we wipe them out there real quick. That monk is really annoying. We're going to try and kill him because he's annoying me. Okay, he's destroyed. And for some reason, I missed this barracks up here in Corinth and thought my only barracks were down in Sparta. So you can see that I'm going to train them down here in Sparta for a while before I eventually realize, oh, hey, there's a barracks up here in Corinth. Like, I'm even panning over it, and I just totally missed it. But it's okay. Huscarls move pretty quickly for infantry units, so it's not a huge deal to get them up there. You can see we're just training more and more and more, and now you can see we start training from this barracks here. And so it's training more and more and more Huscarls. The Eastern Roman Empire is being annoying again, so we should probably stop them. So we will. And we're going to suffer some casualties, but luckily we're at the point now where we have enough Huscarls that we can mostly, Lanchester's laws are applying here mostly. So even though they're much stronger than us, their numbers allow us to do pretty good damage. Take out that little ram before it does us damage. Kill the swordsman hiding inside. And then here are some more rams that want to come make our day harder. So we're going to go destroy those. Well, eventually. I don't know why I didn't destroy those. I guess I missed them. There they go. Destroy those before they do anything stupid. Luckily, they didn't destroy any of my buildings, so I may have just ignored them because they were destroying Corinthian buildings. And Corinth doesn't actually do anything for most of the scenario. So you can see we're still training even more Huscarls. We have tons of golden food, so why not just keep training them while we've got them? And we're about at that point, once we train this last batch of Huscarls, where it's time to go sack Athens. But first, a little detour to destroy yet another Eastern Roman army that has come in to destroy Corinth. I'm not sure they're thinking this through all that well. Like, if the first 5 armies didn't succeed, why would they succeed now when I've only gotten stronger? with like 60, 70 Huskarls on the field. We've got a few more trainings. We keep getting tributes from all of these allied villagers that have not been destroyed. So we finally train up our little last segment of Huskarls here. I think at this point we have a couple more, but we're about to run out of gold. And since we don't have a market anymore, we can't trade all of that wood. If we could have traded that wood, if I hadn't lost that market, let me tell you, it would have been like an hour of just cleaning up so many Huskarls that like I would have definitely hit the pop cap many times over. So we're gonna go to Athens, we're gonna knock on the front gate. Luckily we have high pierce armor, so the castle isn't a problem. We'll lure out the cavalry, ignore the cavalry, go up here and knock down their second gate, which unfortunately nobody is polite enough to open for us. So we're just gonna have to come in here and attack it. But luckily we've got lots of Huskarls, and I think we have arson. I think I picked that up. So we knock down the gate eventually, and as we do with Huskarls, put them under the town center. Well, rather, this time we actually didn't, but typically I do. That's how you make use of them. Put them under the town center, and they just eat them up in like 3 hits. And now we have Athens. And now our final little mission here, of course, is we have to defeat the big bad Eastern Roman army that's been harassing us the entire game. But first, a little side trip, because Goths are barbarians. They love gold, so they've been promised gold, gotta go get it. So we're gonna train up some more Huskarls here, put them in our little control groups here so we can control them, because we have more than 60. First, we're gonna send them down to the castle. We're healing some of them up because they're pretty badly damaged. Some of them, they took out our base in Corinth, but that's fine. We don't need it. We don't really need the resources or the training space because we got Athens. And we got 2 barracks and a castle, which is really all we need. So we're going to defeat them, and now they're going to come in and try to wipe us out. Just like in Corinth, it really does not work because we have so many units, and also they're literally standing under a castle. Great job, AI pathing, standing right under a castle. Send in their rams. Again, not the best idea against like a horde of 65 infantry units that are really good at destroying siege weapons. And you can see here we've tried to reorganize our Huskarls, build a few more because we need them. And then once we get all of these Huskarls built up here, which will take us a few minutes, you can see we're just about out of gold, so we're going to send the ones we have out while the others are still training up. And we're going to go wipe out the defenders on the Athenian gold mine, just because it's free gold and that's the one resource that we're really lacking. We go in there, destroy them. Of course, the Eastern Romans choose this chance to come in and attack us from behind, sneak attack. But it doesn't work. We did suffer heavier casualties than I would have liked, but it's not a big deal because they failed. And their monks don't have theocracy, so they wasted 3 monks on a single Huskarl who died like 2 seconds later. And we take out that last tower, and we get bonus gold. Kill that monk before he causes us problems again. And oh, look at all that wood. I just so wish I could have gotten rid of all that wood and gotten some gold for it. I mean, I would have hit 14 wood for 100 gold pretty quickly, which would have been pretty much useless, but at least it provides a good score boost for me, makes me look more intimidating. Like, all these bonus resources here. So we're just basically going to rebuild our army, because, like we saw, we suffered some heavy casualties. But like with the first scenario, this one's kind of boring for a while. There's really lots of building up Huskarls interspersed with the occasional fighting the Eastern Romans because they were the only real threat this entire scenario. And they don't send big enough armies to actually be a threat. You can keep an eye on the minimap down there. You can see them. They keep coming in like groups of like 5 or 10 and just getting slaughtered because, again, Lancaster Square law says that the more units you have the bigger your proportional size advantage to your enemy, you're going to do exponentially more damage, take exponentially less. Basically, if you have double the amount of troops your enemy has, you're not going to take half the damage. You're going to take like a tenth of it. I don't remember the exact formula. And so with 60 Goths, Huskarls, we can just tear down a castle that has murder holes in a couple seconds and do it with like 5 casualties, including wiping out their entire army here. And really now it's just kind of a cleanup operation. That's what I'm talking about with going under the town center. 4 hits and it was done. And at this point, it's just a free for all. I think at this point, I put them on aggressive stance, which is something I like to do when the town centers and castles are destroyed. Put them on aggressive stance and let them have fun, looting and pillaging and raiding. So, do that. Destroy this last tower here because it was annoying me. And then this barracks, all military buildings, because I don't actually know what the resign triggers are in this one. So I figured better to just destroy stuff and see what eventually sticks. I think I eventually figured out that it is all military buildings, plus they have to have less than like 5 or 10 villagers because destroy that stable here, they're still not going to resign. And once we go in here and destroy another villager or two, even when they have villagers left, they resign. And just like that, we've won. Well, there we go. Second Alaric scenario down on ×8 speed. That one was super simple, super easy, quite a bit of fun. It was really, really, really simple. Just took a little bit of time. And that's going to be it for part one. This is going to be a 3-part series. It was originally supposed to be 2, but first there were 5 scenarios, which is kind of awkward. And also, scenario 5 and to a lesser extent 3 just took forever. And so I just could not fit them into 2 parts without them each being over 40 minutes long, which I did not want to deal with. So this is going to be the shortest of the 3. The other 2 will be more like 30-ish minutes each. We're going to do 3 and 4, and then the last one will be 5, and I'll do something else in there to pad it out a little bit, because I think it's not quite half an hour long. It's close, though. It took a very long time. So, thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video.